Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Thriving Thursday. It's October 15th. I'm excited to be here with you today. We've got some quick announcements. Our quote of the day today is, "The mind is the limit." As long as the mind can envision the fact that you can do something, you can do it. As long as you really believe 100%. Arnold Schwarzenegger. And we have some dates to take note of just in a couple of weeks. Next weekend. Next weekend is our Renatus Regionals, and I had some homework yesterday that I didn't do. So if Wanda, you have any information on this, please let us know. I'm just curious if there's a promo code or any information in Helios on how to get registered for regionals. I've just gotten some questions on that and I'm not sure myself. So there's that. Mark your calendar for October 23rd and 24th. Next weekend, we've got 2 full days of phenomenal training by national leaders as well as more local leaders with our local region. Okay, just reading some comments. And we have our dates for nationals. We are going to be meeting online for our national conference next year, March 18th through the 20th. 3 full days of awesome training. Our theme will be shift.
How did you guys even notify me? And she said, I don't know, some way, but they can't get to the air filter because.
Okay. Shifting higher into focused transformation. I'm very excited for our national conference. Usually we meet in person, and it's such a blast to see you all in person and to give hugs, and I'm really going to miss that when we have our national conference, but it's okay because I remember our national conference this year was a blast. They did a really great job at just keeping the energy up and keeping it very fun, even though we were all staring at a computer. And we have our leadership retreat dates for next year, August 13th through the 17th, 2021. We're planning on going to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with leaders from around the nation, and Leaders Retreat is always such a blast. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Check out this new website that was put together by Michael and his team, oesoes.com. The OES is nothing new. It's been around for a long time, and we've added some more support to our weekly and daily system. And this is just to help Michael and his team pay for all the support that they've put together for us. So oesoes.com, there's a short video on there that explains what the OES is and all the benefits that come with it. So some of the things that we've added is a weekly masterclass on private capital every Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Dane Clark is facilitating that, as he has had a lot of success from taking from what he's learned from the private capital classes and implementing it. And if you're on Wednesdays with us, you're following his number on that, and it just continually increases. I believe he's almost to 16 million now. So he definitely knows what he's doing, and he's taken it all from what we've purchased with our Renatus courses. So watch those private capital classes and join us on Thursdays with Dane Clark. And of course, you must be an AIT student so that you have access to those private capital classes. Also, every day after our morning marketing call from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., we are doing a dream call, daily real estate action mastermind. And bring your questions from the classes that you're watching or on any projects that you're looking at doing. Any questions at all regarding real estate investing, bring them to this call. It's been a lot of fun. Also, every day at noon, Monday through Friday, noon Mountain Time, Scott Rowe and Michael Huggins have gotten together and created a short and sweet 15-minute get-to-know-you call where they interview 1 or 2 individuals who've reached success through Renatus. And it's designed for your guests. So if your guest needs an additional exposure and needs to hear something from some other people, this is a really great opportunity to do that. So to access that, you'll simply go to bit.ly/zoomup and take advantage of that. It's a great opportunity. And we had an awesome house tour yesterday. Every Wednesday we meet for a virtual house tour. Great exposure for your guests. This was Juan's first deal. He's 19, and it's really exciting for him. I'm very happy for him. He purchased this home for $95,000 and put about $50,000 into it. The ARV is 210, so his projected net profit is $40,000 in just a quick 3 months. And again, it's his first deal. He's only 19. Congratulations, Juan. That's super exciting. Using none of his own money or credit to complete the deal. Here is our schedule for our weekly events. You will please always register in Helios, and then to access the events, you'll go to teamelevateusa.com. It's also where you'll send your guests to access the events. It's a very clean looking site with all of the different events that they have access to. Every Tuesday, we have our Profits Intro at 12:30 Mountain Time. And on Wednesdays, as I mentioned, we have our house tour in English at 7 p.m. And then every Thursday, we have this whole list of events going on all at 7 o'clock. So you can kind of pick and choose what it is that you'd like to attend based on your goals and your, if you have guests coming, I recommend you attend the Pillars of Wealth with them. So every Thursday we have the house tour in Spanish. We have the Pillars of Wealth intro presentation, the follow-up and funding webinar. We have an onboarding webinar. We have essentials in both English and Spanish. We have a business development study group as well as multiple study groups built around real estate investing. So a group that just focuses on fix and flip, another one on wholesaling, multifamily, and short-term rental. So lots and lots of support. As you can see, we have so much going on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And if you're not plugging in, then you're definitely missing out. We do record these calls. We're on both Facebook and YouTube. You'll want to definitely be a part of the Renatus Team Elevate private Facebook page if you're not already. There's a lot of important announcements there, and then you can always catch these recordings as well as on YouTube. Subscribe to Elevate Renatus YouTube, and on there, there's at least 5 years worth of these recordings, a lot of value to take advantage of. So if you're newer, go back and catch some of those recordings. Today, we get to learn from Wanda Carrasquillo. Wanda spends an hour with us each and every Thursday, and she will share with us what's on her mind around mindset training and personal development, and then she ties it into our business and our marketing. And it's just been a really, really nice touch to our weekly calls. Wanda's background: she was born in Puerto Rico and earned herself 2 master's degrees in education despite many life challenges. She earned herself 2 master's degrees in education. Oh, I already said that. And in her career, she succeeded in many ways, only to an extent to where she was hitting a ceiling every time she tried to reach higher. And at the time, she was trading time for dollars. And she had she has a very entrepreneurial spirit. And at the time when she was working, she was always looking to start, some type of business here and there. And those business attempts never really took off for her. And her entrepreneurial spirit has shown so much through her journey with Renatus. She started Renatus about 4 years ago. And in her first year, she earned herself, actually in her first 8 months, she earned herself 6 figures and has continued to do so each year after. It's very inspiring. And Wanda has also been killing it on the real estate side. She has completed around 20 real estate transactions, and she's also on the PIT team, which is the PAC and Training President's Advisory Council. We're very fortunate to get to learn from Wanda this morning. Good morning, Wanda. How are you?
Good morning, Kitty. Thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you everybody for being here, waking up early and getting your habit of beginning the day with inspiration. That's so awesome. And thank you for everything you do, Kitty, to put this together and to help us begin the day in the right foot, right? Well, today, basically, the topic that I want is inspired by this book that I read or listened to it this week. That is the Platinum Rule. The Platinum Rule. And the Platinum Rule is different from the Golden Rule. In the Golden Rule, we always think that we have to do into others what you want to be done into you. But in the Platinum Rule is do unto others what they want you to do to them. And that's a different take. And in the book I was looking back because I purchased I downloaded one, and I thought I was expecting something different. So I'm not gonna do a review of the book in this call because the version that I took, I don't, I think there's a better version of the book. But in this one particularly was interesting because what the author have done is just match up the rule with kind of a drive system. They count. He only talk about directors, socializers, relators, and thinkers, which is very, very similar to our drive system. In the drive, we have the directors. In the book, these directors are kind of combined with the executive. And then the socializers are like the validators, and the relators, and the thinkers are the intellectuals. So I want to take a different approach for the discussion that I want to have today, because I want to put it into the drive system. So basically the key is we want into others what they want to be done to them, not like what I want to be done to me. If for example, well, I don't like to be screamed at, well, I'm not going to be screaming at somebody. That is the golden rule. But if you look at the platinum rule, that is, oh, he wants to, oh, this person like to be admired, then I'm going to be admiring them, even if I don't like to be admired. Because, you know, like when you look at intellectuals or even executive, sometimes they don't have a lot of word of admiration, but when somebody on the other side, they're talking to them, then if they are expecting words of inspiration or admiration, you want to provide that to them. This is very, very important when we are talking to customers and prospects. In the book particularly,
can you share the title, please?
Oh, it's really the platinum rule. The platinum rule, and this one, and there I went back to the library and started looking at different titles, and there's a bunch of authors reading and writing into this rule. But this one that I picked was from Tony and I can't even see my writing. Adresana, something like that. But and he combined it in this matter with the different drive, if you will. He just have 4 categories and we have the 5 categories. I'm like, how can I really tie this into our drive, because we are familiar with the drive and we know how to talk to those customers, right? And to the prospects. And this week I had a very interesting conversation. This lady approached me in LinkedIn and she's like, oh, I want to make connections with you. So I'm perfect. But the connection didn't happen immediately because I received the message and then I didn't reply really right away. And then she didn't reply right away. So we've been kind of sending messages to each other, but leaving like few days in between until now. And then she started like, oh, that would be so nice to, I'm just gonna condense what we talk, but oh, it would be so nice to connect with you. I'm like, oh, sure, I wanna add value to what you are doing. And she's like, well, and I said, let's set up a phone call and we can talk and kind of get to know each other. And she's like, well, before I set up a phone call with you, let me ask you a few questions. And I go, oh, sure, you can ask me questions. And she's like, do you have a system? And do you have like some tools? I said, I totally have a great system. We have a 10-step system that allows us to progress in our business. And I do have all the tools that I need, definitely. As a matter of fact, I became 6 income figure using this 10-step training. I became six-figure income in a month. She dropped the ball and she didn't want to converse with me. So I'm like, and she's like, oh, okay, good for you. Like, right. And I know she has something to offer me because, we are networking, but she didn't even, she cut me off because I said that I already have everything. And then I said, I want to add value to you. And I want to know where you at and everything because I started to apply what they was talking about yesterday about showing love and showing care. And it's the same thing that this book is relating. You want to do into others what they want to be done into them. And this is a rule that Woody mentioned it a lot also in his trainings. He talks not about the golden rule, but the platinum rule. And that is what we should be doing. Let's identify the drive on that person and meet their needs. If they're validator, let's validate them. You may not like to be validated. It's okay. If I apply golden rule and I'm a validator, I'm going to be seeking validation all the time. But remember that the drive system goes into become an internal person. And also the drive system is totally different from any other assessment in personality because the drive system goes to what makes you feel important. Know what is important to you. And that's what the difference, even in this book, when I was kind of analyzing and comparing with the drive system and the way that that Woody teaches us to do it, that goes deeper. Any other assessment for personality goes with the external, whatever I show, whatever, and that is my secondary drive. Remember, I come out to the world as a validator because I like to be admired, I like to be popular, and that's my validator. That's my second drive. That's my how, but no, that's not my why. My why is my director. I like to be independent. I like to be free. I don't like to be having too many rules. I like to live my life in my terms. That's my drive, my actual why I do things. But how I do it is my secondary drive, which in this book is very, very superficial because it just talks about when you start analyzing somebody, the body language and the conversations and the keywords that they use, that is going to be the secondary drive in our drive system. And you have to ask deeper questions to really get into what makes that person feel important. What makes, it's not what that person like, because the likes is not going to be as deep and internal as the feelings that makes them feel important. That's very, very important here. So you can read the body language and people can fake body languages. I can just relax and I'm very stressed instead of crossing my arms, especially all of you guys who have taken the neuropath trainings, you know that if you learn it so well, you know how to manipulate the system and react differently. So in the drive system, you go deeper. You really, really going to analyze the person's feeling right inside, what makes them feel important, what is important to them. Sometimes I make this relationship or this example, like family is important to me, but it doesn't make me feel important. Some people are relators, may say, oh yeah, my family makes me feel important, but not me. I love my daughters, I love my grandkids, I love my grandma, my dad, everybody, my family. I do a lot of things for them, but it doesn't make me feel important. What makes me feel important is being in front of you guys and delivering and performing and training, that makes me feel important. Like I told you last week, being in the stage with Bob Snyder, all of that makes me feel important. What I need to be careful personally is that I am internal, that if that happens when I am in front of you, at the end of this hour, I'm still good. And I'm still feeling good, even if we have 7 more days to go before I'm in front of you again. Does that make sense? Because otherwise, my other 6 days are going to be down because I'm not in front of the camera, I'm not in front of the group, and that's not the key. I know that I have my moment of fame when I come to this call, or I have my moment of fame when I'm in front of any group, or even in a one-on-one, because it's my way of performing and giving from me. But I have to know what that person is wanting. The other day, actually, Seeking for this book came out of a conversation with another ICM, and we were talking about the 5 love languages. And some people, I don't know them all by memory. I know that I'm a service and I expect the word of affirmation and I give service. So that's as far as I can tell you on that, because I haven't learned it like all. But what I've been trying to figure it out is that in that applying that the love languages is like how I'm going to really treat that other person in a good way, the way that I think they need to, or the way they want to. And that's why the conversation came along on, no, we need to go to the platinum rule. The platinum rule is do unto others what they want to be done into them. And that's how the conversation came. And I searched for this book and all of this, which is so interesting. And it's just coming to practice, because it's not something that you're going to be doing like immediately. You have to be very conscious. I think the golden rule has been grained into our brains because we hear it in school, we hear it through our growing up and everything. Don't do unto others what you want to be done unto you. And you treat people nicely. But now it's take a different turn. Is do unto others what they want to be done into them. So how do I know what Kelly wants to be done into her? Not only by looking at her, I don't know. If I apply the rule, I'm kind of, okay, Kelly, maybe she wants, and I don't know. I have to ask questions. And that's why drive is so important. And then I can ask the question to Kelly, what other than work and family, what are you most passionate about? And that's a way to break the ice and start a conversation. I'm just curious, other than work and family. And we want, I think at the beginning when Woody was doing these trainings, he only mentioned work to eliminate that. But what happened is that when we were doing it, people started talking about family immediately, because that's kind of important to people. But that doesn't make, like in my case, family is important to me, but it's not make me feel important. And then the conversation can be, if you don't eliminate that part of the equation in between work and family, you may gear that conversation into thinking that that person is a relator when in fact they're not a relator. So you have to be very careful on then eliminating from the equation work and also family. So when you break the ice with someone and beginning a conversation or something, even if you know the person, even if the person is a family member, a warm market or a cold market, you start with that. I'm just curious, I'm learning about some personalities And I wanna know what are your feelings and get to know you better or improve our communication. I did this with my daughter, and honestly, we are now improving our communication much better. And so you say, other than work and family, what are you most passionate about? And then from there, you continue asking questions to really get deeper. Um, Most of you probably have the card, so you have in Helios, you have the entire PDF form that you can give to person and they can analyze and do it. What I have found in my practice when I do it that way is that they don't really sink deeper into their feeling. It is important if they're in front of you, they're going to be kind of rush to answer and they want to do it fast, and they probably don't think that we are talking about what makes them feel important instead of what is important. And I stopped doing it, like to eliminate the pressure into that. So yes, I do read the language, words that come out of their mouth. Most of the people, they speak their language. They speak their drive. I'm sorry, they speak their drive. I personally always mentioning my travels and my lifestyle and all of that when I speak because that's what makes me feel important. I can pick up a lot of people when they say, no, because I need a calendar. I really need a system. They're intellectuals. And so you can pick up some words that can guide you into what is their drive. But in reality, even when it says, do not attempt to guess their drive. But to start the conversations, you can kind of pick up from their language and their body language what is their drive, but not until they actually take that assessment, you're not going to know really their drive. But I have taken a different take, and it's better to give the drive system and have them analyze it, explain them very well to them, and give them the opportunity to go and take the time to really dive deep into their feelings and explain that. Make sure that you go over your feelings, what makes you feel important. The last person that I did this with this prospect, I just sent it to her, and I at the beginning we were doing it on Zoom, and I said, I want you to take really time, and I explained this example that I told you about the family. Family is important to me, but doesn't make me feel important. And sometimes I make it even more dramatic, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I said, God is important to me, but God doesn't make me feel important. And I don't want to take this in a bad way. I go to church and everything. If I've been asked to speak in my meeting, oh, that makes me feel important. But if I'm sitting in the bench and nothing happened, yes, I feel good and I'm feeling, whatever spiritual experiences I have, but that doesn't make me feel important. It's important to me, and those experiences are important, and I treasure them, but it doesn't make me feel important. You see the difference. And I explain this to people when I give them the drive, because if you really want to do to them what they want, what you need to be doing to them, like the platinum rule is implying, then you really need to know their drive deeply. And once you know their drive, then you can fulfill their needs, and then you can add value. Because what you want is show love to people, compassion, trust, and you want to be likable with that person. You want to build that trust with that person. And the only way is if you understand that person, how that person is coming from. To me, in my drive, one of the things is my respect, my, all of that. So if somebody do something to me that is like, you didn't respect me, I block that person. It's just like automatically, because it's something that is being offended in my drive. And you don't want to make anybody be offended in any of the drive. Okay, so that's why it's important to know even each one of the words on those cards, because like right now I just talked to you about respect. Respect is one of my priority in my drive. Yeah, admiration, free time, and all of that is major, but that respect is really so important. And if you know that, then you know that, oh, Wanda she likes to be respected. But respect has different meaning, right? Some things I may find offended by it, and maybe some other things that you think may offend me doesn't offend me. So it's just even deeper, when you continue to understand what the word of respect means, or what the admiration means, or validation means. How do you want to be validated? Because if you come to me like, oh, you look pretty, oh, you look pretty, you look pretty, yeah, you're validating me, but it's going to come if you continue doing it over and over and over. And I'm like, you're just kidding, right? You're not telling me the truth. It's not honest validation. So that we have to be careful with all of this. It's just coming to different levels of understanding of the drive and the, we have somebody here to admit. Okay, and the drive and all of this is more than just say, this person is a director validator, but is loving that person, is understanding that person and thinking, hey, I'm going to do something more for this person. If you really, really, really want to add value, you have to do something more for that person. So going back to that conversation that I have with this lady, she dropped it, so I said, because she said, oh, I have a mentor, I have a coach and a mentor. I'm like, I'm not a mentor. I'm not a coach. I just want to add value. I want to have a conversation with you so I can understand if there's anything I can add to you. Well, she's like completely took me off, and she doesn't even know if I can probably request her services, because I don't know what she does. I went to her profile, so I know she's probably a life coach or something. She doesn't know if I probably are looking for a life coach, right? She didn't even offer it. She just cut me off immediately when I said, yes, I do have a system. Yes, I do have tools. And yes, I've been able to follow this system to create six-figure income. So she said, oh, if you're six-figure income, I don't need you, my customer. And that, you see how sometimes we just take people out of our list because we don't really understand deeper. So more that I think, I know this person needs drive. I know she needs to know how to utilize drive to really improve herself. But she has not given me the opportunity to continue the conversation. So now, you know how in Messenger, you see when the person dropped and you see that they read your message. So I noticed that she went to the video because I sent this, the clip in which Bob Snyder explained the entire Prophet courses and all of that. I'm trying to promote Prophet. And I saw that she have moved into that point. And I asked, did you watch the video? Honestly, I just want to add value to you. She hasn't replied. But I'm going to keep bugging her, because I think when you show that you care, the person will eventually will open up into the conversation. Okay. And I've been reversing this with my list. Remember that I told you I have right there in front of me almost 100 names, and they are warm markets, and I've been bombarding them with advertisement, come to this event, come to this event, and some people reply, some people don't, and so on. And at one point, I've been thinking, oh, I burned those bridges. But now I'm switching, and I'm trying to say, hey, I just want to have a conversation with you. I just want to see if I can add value to you. And because I turn around my conversation in this way into showing that I care and showing more love, yesterday I think I booked I have 3 bookings. So one, I have 2 today and 1 for tomorrow. So I have 3 bookings, and that's really awesome. So, so what is the idea is to understand their drive. And now when I go to this conversation, yes, I will give them the drive cards, but I want them to really take their time to answer and come back to me with a real answer. Because if they do it right there in front of me, it's going to be very, very in pressure. They're going to be pressured to answer quickly, and they may not go into what makes them feel important. They may think this is important to me, and that's not the actual drive. You have to go deeper into your feelings. Okay? We have time now for questions, and I hope this conversation have opened up your eyes and have given you some insight on how to begin a conversation with people, how to really, really, really apply love and care, because people don't care how much you know until you show how much you care. So it's so important to care for people and provide value. So let's open up the mics if you have questions, if you have any particular situation that you have been practicing the drive and practicing these rules. Not the golden rules, but the platinum rules, because you want to do unto others what they want to be done into them. Let's open up the mics. And thank you guys for being here.
Well, if nobody wants to come out, I want to make sure everybody will come out before I. So, anybody? If not, I'll talk.
Go ahead, Heath.
Okay. Yeah, question with the book that you were reading, the Platinum Rule. No, how is that? Do they also have like 5, like 5 drives there?
Have 4.
I mean, it was 4. Okay. I was gonna say, because when I attended Tony Robbins, he was talking about, so he does have kind of like a drive system, but he's also talking about 4 personalities. So
Yes.
that's what I was wondering. So I wonder if that's kind of the same concept, because, they have like, they have the queen, they have the kind of like like a like a joke, not a joker, but I'm trying to think, what those a magician, and then there's other 2.
Yes.
So
They are, if you look for personality assessment, you will find a lot. Some people do colors, some people do figures, some people do different names, and it's like having a dog with different colors. Okay, I see it.
Okay.
However, the difference with drive system, with Woody's system, is, once more, I want to repeat this. It's not about what is important to you. Other system is just what is important to you. This one is what makes you feel important. So it has a different meaning. The drive system goes deeply. Remember that the drive system was created by something that Woody developed many years ago, that was the emotional fingerprinting. Emotional fingerprinting is very deep, deep, deep inside of you to understand what are your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you understand the 7 eyes, he divided that. He doesn't own that anymore. He sold it. I don't know if the website is still available. I haven't jumped into that in a long time, but it was like nomortherapy.com. In that, you can find that assessment. And
Right.
it's divided into 7 different categories. And most of those areas are covered in the drive. So if you knew the emotional fingerprinting, now connecting with the drive is easier, but the drive is not goes as deep as the emotional fingerprinting in the way that he had it laid out. In the emotional fingerprinting, once you analyze those different categories, then you know what can offend your eyes. And when I say eyes, it's not my eyes, it's the eye, like I feel,
Right. Like
I feel,
emotional.
I
Yeah.
feel important when. So I feel important when I admire. I feel important when people respect me, right? So, but now if you apply the platinum rule, remember that you also have to understand the meaning of respect for that person, because my meaning of respect may not be the same meaning of respect for you.
Right.
Something that to me, and especially when you deal with people with different cultures, um, my grandma, this is so funny because we have air conditioning in the house. So most of the, pretty much all the windows are closed, or we have like these screens that are plastic and so on. But in United States, I grew up pretty much there. I left when I was in my 20th, and so most of the time I have been in the States instead of here in Puerto Rico. And people come to visit, and when they leave, I say bye and I close the door. So my grandma started saying that was very disrespectful, that I need to go out and wait for that person to leave, and where I cannot even see the car anymore. And I'm like, okay, that is something that for people here is kind of disrespectful for me to close the door and stay inside and they bye. To me, that's not disrespectful, but to them it is. So
Right.
I have to adjust. So we have to understand, once you understand the drive, you have to even continue asking questions to go deeper in what is the meaning for them.
Right.
So,
Especially now we're going international, where we're going to be traveling in different countries. So we want to make sure that we know what is
exactly.
good there and what's not. So.
And there are some places that you have to burn, and it's like saying, okay, this food is delicious. There are some places that you have to eat pretty much everything that is in your plate, and ask for seconds, and you have to eat seconds. Cultures is just fascinating, and you understand that person. That's why the drive system is not only that I'm telling you I'm a director validator. What kind of validator I am? There are some validators who doesn't need that much accolades or admiration or words of admiration, because they've been working internally. And I have been working on that personally, constantly, okay, and trying to be internal, because I don't, being external was driving me crazy, and it didn't serve me. So what doesn't serve you, you need to let it go. Okay. Very good question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Wanda. When are you coming to the States again?
I am going back at the end of the month. So
are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be leaving here the 30th, I think.
22nd?
The 30th. The 30th.
Oh, the 30th. Okay.
And then I'll be out for 15 days or so.
Okay, so you're going to be online for regionals then, huh?
Yes. I was tempted to go to Chicago, but and let me answer And before we run out of time, but Kaylee asked, and this is a very good moment to say wait and mention what is going on with regional. I don't have all the details. And the last time that I went into Helios to register for Utah, our event for Utah was not yet posted. However, once it's posted, my understanding is that the price, we're going to have the $50 discount, and we will only pay the $29. There is a code associated with that discount. We will receive information on that shortly, so I'm sure that they're working on it, and that's all I know up to this point. So hang tight, and remember that whatever we raise from that is going to go to the Locators Foundation. So it's going to be a good cause for the $29. I know that Hilda mentioned to, yeah, give me a second. Hilda mentioned to Mike that if Michael, if you can be in both, if you have two devices and it's online, you can be in both. So.
Yeah, that's what because what we're gonna do, being, I'm on a lead team, so we're actually gonna be there on Friday to even live because we're gonna be decorating. So I won't, be able to even like pay attention to it because we'll be preparing for the dinner, and then Saturday, then we can kind of sit down. So we're Dave and I were looking into doing live for those 2 days. But yeah, he did mention, but I'm not sure if he found out or if you heard when I asked if it was going to be recorded, then I can catch it later. So because I normally, like even with this one here in Chicago, I miss like a lot of the trainings because I'm usually volunteering. Like last year, when live, I was outside, I was like getting people in. So, but I listen to it as much as I can. So, but I can't really pay attention to the whole thing anyway. So it's nice when it's recorded. So then I can actually pay attention and watch it later. So.
Thank you so much. And I think somebody asking question here. The 70.
Yeah, Wanda, I was just going to mention for Utah, I was able to register for regionals last night. There is a calendar event now scheduled under Laura and Ryan Black.
Oh, very good. Oh, thank you. Because the last time I checked it was prior to last night, so probably they posted.
Yeah, I've been watching it like a hawk, and I'm like, where is it? But I did that last night, so yeah.
Very good. Thank you for giving us that information. So the last word is that yes, the event is posted. So search for Laura and Ryan and register for regionals and invite as many people as possible because this is going to be amazing. And for the price, hey guys, $29, we're getting a $50 discount, and the $29 is going to go to the Locators Foundation. It's going to be amazing. So we have the best. We have the best team. We are in the best team, and we need just to show up. Friday is going to be amazing, directly from corporate, and then on Saturday, every leader pack group is going to be doing amazing, just to help us improve. All of these trainings that we give, all of this amazing information that you receive weekly and daily is really for your benefit. It's really for you to improve. I was looking the other day at some pictures that came from 3 years ago on my first regional. And I was looking, we were at the stage receiving awards, and I was looking at everybody there, and I don't see them anymore. And that breaks my heart because I'm like, we were doing so well. And I'm sure that something happened during the process in the business or whatever that make them drop the ball. But you know what? There's I think Kitty put a video from Bob Snyder the other day that never quit. Don't quit. The key here is don't quit. It doesn't matter. I have gone through hard time. I have a deal that went wrong. It doesn't matter. The system works. One deal is not going to determine my destiny. Keep moving forward. Don't quit. Remember that winners doesn't quit and quitters doesn't win. It is so important that you stay in track. Go back, study again. I was just reviewing my essential classes again. Go back and review classes, take new classes, and continue. You have the tools. We have the tools. We have the knowledge. Your mindset is what stopped you from moving forward. You believe are those that you have to redefine and rethink in order for you to continue on. If I wouldn't know change my mindset, I probably could have quit with the first hit. Success is not easy. Sometimes we feel like success is going to be a straight line. Yes, we do have the straight line.
I have a quick question.
Yes, give me a second. A straight line, but no, success is just ups and down, and you're going to the final. Yes, Charles.
So you mentioned something about respect earlier. So as a you're like you got a validator in there, right? So when you felt like you weren't being respected, how did you overcome the feeling that comes along with that?
That is so important. I had an experience in which I had this situation with someone, and I was just, and this is before I really dive into drive, okay? So I was really external. Let's make this clear. And I was just going into this emotional roller coaster. I made a big deal. I called people and I just made a big drama from the event. And the event hurt me. It really hurt me. I'm not going to blame and just discuss the details. But in that hurt moment, I was so external that I created this whole drama. Okay. And I continue to hold those feelings for a long time. Then I started to learn the drive and I started to kind of analyze. And I knew that I needed to fix it. And I was at an event and I sent a note to these people. And it was amazing how that note turned around not only the relationship, but also my feelings. So sometimes when you are offended, it is good to liberate that emotion and let it go and be present in the moment. Because if you continue to live in the past, that doesn't going to serve you. So remember, that doesn't serve me, I need to let go. If it doesn't serve me, I'm not going to keep it. If that feeling of offense and being offended and all of that is there, remember that nobody offends you unless you define what is offense and you take it. You are the only person who are in control of your feelings. I cannot make anybody happy, and nobody can make me happy. I am the only one who define my happiness. And I, like right now, I've been here and I hardly go outside. I'm with my grandma and my dad. And in December, it's going to be a year. I define this space to be my happy place right now. I could have been here like, oh, I'm over here. I don't do anything. I don't do it. I don't do, and be complaining. Or I can turn this around and say, this is what I decided to do. This is what I'm called to do at this moment of my life. And I'm going to make every day a happy day. Did that answer your question, Charles?
Yeah, it actually added another one. So what are some things you did to like let go of the feeling that come along with, you know, when you felt like you were disrespected?
Yeah, one thing was that I wrote the note to the people who, and basically in my note I said, I'm sorry if I offended you. I'm sorry if you offended me. I forgive you if you offended me, because it's two ways, right? So I basically liberated that by taking action and ask for forgiveness, even if I think that I was playing or it was not my fault or whatever. So I took that first action. And that really released a lot of the feelings that I have inside, because I was holding it and I was the one holding the crutches. So I didn't want to have that in my heart anymore. So if you go out and just ask for forgiveness, even if you haven't done anything, that liberates your feelings. And then after that, it's just, it's what you define in your heart, what is going to really define whether you are offended or not. Because nobody can control your feelings, only you. That makes sense? Only you. Nobody makes you happy. Nobody makes you angry. You have the capacity to be angry and have the capacity of being frustrated, but only you define when you want to do it. It's okay to have it. Like I told you the other day, you can be crying, but you're going to define that. I think we are out of time and this room needs to be
We need to start the dream call. Sorry to cut us off.
Thank you so much, guys. I love you.
Thank you, Wanda. Thank you so much. Stop by in Chicago.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wanda.
Bye-bye.